She never experienced anything like this. Hello. Good.
Sounds good to me.
I can hear you. Yes,
Yep.
loud and clear.
Didn't know.
Why? What's up with him?
Because he's running late.
Oh. Oh yeah. Okay. So.
Hi, sorry, I know I've been a bit distant. I'm just replying to Kieran on. You'll have my undivided attention as soon as he appears. I managed to pick up the Monster Manual, D&D. It ran off her on Amazon for 25 quid. I've not seen it drop. I've not seen it drop below 30 forever. So how much were it? £24.40. Snap that up straight away. So now I've got the 3 core books.
You are getting there. It starts as a journey. When you will have like 40 of them, that's when you're gonna be, yes, I have all.
Although Xanthar's Guide to Everything is apparently... sorry, Xanathar's Guide to Everything is apparently 25 quid at this moment in time. Volvo's Guide to Monsters is also 25 quid.
A Sonata is more useful for you, I believe, as a player.
I'll get them eventually, they're in my wish list. You see how long you're going to be?
A little bit, which can mean
It's me. Let's try and poke some tartar in. When did I buy that mesh system?
Ooh. I wonder how long it's going to be.
Can't tell when people have read your messages on Signal, can you?
You can your own, yes.
Can you? More
Yeah.
info.
Yeah, more info.
Sent
It doesn't.
go.
It
Yeah. Ah, yeah. So if it's a double tick, then everybody's seen it.
yeah,
They've
and then
received
if
it and
it's
seen it.
yeah, so it's if it's ticked and then and coloured in. Whereas on the app version on your phone, that does actually tell you who's read it. Well, not necessarily literally read it, but they've clicked
Received
on
it
it
and they've opened it. Yeah.
Chat thing going.
Have to share this in the D&D group. More options. Oh.
Just going to mute myself for a moment.
Okay. He's just replied.
His son is not okay. In the meantime, does any of you got any kind of security system in your home? Like a CCTV or
Yes.
doorbell thing. What do you have, if you don't mind asking? I mean,
I
you don't have to answer if you don't want to.
No, it's absolutely fine. I have an alarm that's like the infrared ones. I've got
Hmm.
basically my entire house is covered with an infrared alarm, so
Yeah.
that gets put on when I go to bed. If any of the alarms trigger or any of the doors open,
Hmm.
then the alarm goes off. But on top of that, I've got just a little wired. Basically, it's like a webcam.
Yeah.
It were only like 20 quid,
Hmm.
and I've got that pointing out over the garden because I had quite an expensive shed put in
Hmm.
place. Yeah, what's going on here? Bill's music. 1 second. I had a quite expensive shed and home gym put in the garden, so I've got that. I've got the camera watching, on the back as well. That only cost me 20 quid, and I think it costs. I think it might be like between. It's like less than a tenner every 3 months for a subscription to some Chinese service somewhere. So it's constantly streaming 24/7, and
Yeah. Yeah.
they keep all the footage forever.
Hmm.
Um, so I don't have to worry about it. No SIM cards, no storage or anything. You just get streamed 24/7 to the server.
Hmm. Okay.
I think it's called a Yi camera. Wait a minute, let me have a look. Yi camera. Yep, that's the one.
Mhm.
YI. What are you wanting?
No, I ordered a system by ADT.
Oh yeah,
It's
a proper
monitored
system.
all around. Yeah, yeah, it's a proper system. And I was just wondering, I asked lots of other people, some recommended this, I was just wondering, I already ordered it. It's coming in 2 weeks' time. They're gonna install it, and it will have all this, the camera, and you can watch it on your phone, even if you're
Mm.
away. and you can activate it, and it's
My
monitored.
my brother just recently, when he bought his house, he put a system in place, and that was not Yell. I'm sure it begins with a Y though, and it's all Yeller. But it's
Mhm.
that's he basically fitted that himself, and it's like all wireless. So he has all everything in his house is connected to like plug sockets. The alarm on the side of the house. I think that might be wired to that might be the only thing that's wired to the mains, but everything else is just kind of like
It-
modular.
this is like that, it's
Yeah,
battery operated. I mean, you can plug the main thing into a plug,
I
but
don't think it.
even if you switch it off, I mean, the electricity of the whole building is still operates for another, I
I don't
think,
think his is
24
monitored
hours.
though. I couldn't be 100% sure. But if there's any movement or anything in my garden, you can set up areas. So where I'm looking at it, the top third of the entire screen is basically above my fence. So it's like the street behind the back of
Mhm.
my house. So if there's any movement there, I've told it to just ignore that. So if there's like cars going past or birds sitting on the fence or anything like that, it just ignores it. But if anything jumps into the fence, like neighbours' cats or
Yeah,
anything like
yeah,
that, like birds or washing set it off as well. Any movement in like the bottom two thirds,
yeah.
it
That's what my
it sends me a message and says, "Oh, there's movement in your
yeah.
garden."
My brother-in-law said the same. He got something similar,
Yeah, yeah,
which
yeah.
is he built it, and he got, it's basically tiny. Even if you put the letters through the letterbox, the camera triggers, ping, straight, just the plain letters, not parcels, comes to the letterbox, and it is straight. You can see it on the phone straight away. That's how sensitive the sensor.
Oh, sorry, I'm late.
It's
Good
okay.
evening.
Don't
No
worry
worries.
about
Things happen.
it. So yesterday I had to leave D&D game with my daughter. We went to the children's, A&E. So things happen like this. So don't worry about
My daughter had her friends round earlier. I went into the back garden, looked up, and one of them was practically climbing out the upstairs window.
Wow.
And then my other son had his homework to do, and he got upset about it. So it was pushing back a little bit.
Uh, right then, is everybody ready to go?
it. Yep.
Yeah, the board's different. I logged in.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
check.
in Boston.
Boston,
Boston,
Boston.
Boston, Massachusetts.
I'm looking for Mark Wahlberg. Is he around?
Ray Donovan. Love that show.
Okay, right. So, I did give you a bit of a heads up before we started, but yeah. So it is. Oh, I haven't set the time. So, let's
1923.
it is 1923 still. It is a couple of months later. So it's November 1923. The 9th of November 1923. And it's not 8 p.m. I don't know why it says that. Let's ignore that. Are we unpaused? It's unpaused. No, it's still paused. Right, let's unpause it. Okay, so it's not 8 p.m. It says it is, but ignore that. In fact, let's not be on 9th of November. Let's be on the 10th of November. So it's daytime. And in fact, it's about midday is always a good time for a meeting, I find. Right, so you've been contacted by a Boston landlord called Harold Peasley, who has requested your assistance with putting to rest a bad reputation of a property purchased a few years ago. You've arranged to meet him at midday today at the offices of Peasley Property Management, which is located in John Hancock Tower, which is like an office building, located on 200 Clarendon Street in central Boston.
It's in a handout, Phil.
Is that in a handout?
Sorry, I thought you were reading from the handout that we got. You know, the letter.
Did I send you a letter?
Yeah, we got something.
In the chat, you sent some text regarding we need to meet here and
Yeah.
there, and that's why I knew Boston.
I didn't know if that's what you were reading. Sorry.
No. So that were like so it's essentially the same thing, but yeah, a bit more. But no, I wasn't reading from that. I'm reading from my own personal notes. Right. So, the offices of Peasley Property Management are shiny and new, but small, tucked away in the back corner of the second floor of the office block. Inside, you're greeted by a middle-aged secretary who smiles a bit too much and who announces your arrival to Mr. Peasley. Emerging from another door, a portly man with flushed cheeks introduces himself as Harold Peasley and ushers you into his office and offers you each a chair.
Okay. We introduce ourselves.
Okay, right. He shakes each of your hands in turn, and once you sat down and exchanged sort of pleasantries and a little bit of small talk, he launches into it and he says, I've heard of your interest in what could I call it? Mysterious happenings. A friend of mine suggested contacting Solomon after reading one of his articles in Enigma magazine.
Ooh. What did you think of the article?
I didn't read the article myself. It was a friend, but he was aware of my problems and he suggested contacting you.
He did the right thing.
What I would require is I would like you to examine a property that's on my books and give it a clean bill of health. I'm prepared to pay you $50 in advance and a further $100 when I have your assurance that I can rent the property out again without provoking some new tragedy, and so I can clean this blot from my business reputation.
What do you mean new tragedy? So was there an old one?
There has been. So I bought the house back in 1918. Even then, I'd heard the house had a bit of a bad reputation, and it had rumours of being haunted, but which obvious nonsense. But it was too good a bargain to pass up. And later that year, the first tenants moved in. The Macario family. You may have read about them. I'm not sure. A young couple, nice Italian couple with 2 children. Unfortunately, about a year after they moved in, the father had a serious accident. I'm not sure of the details. And shortly thereafter, he went violently insane and was committed to an asylum.
Sorry, what happened to the father? The father had an accident.
He had some kind of serious accident. I don't know the details.
Okay.
But that's whether that seems to have been a trigger, from what I can gather. And within days, a week after following this accident, he went violently insane and had to be committed to an asylum. And following that, just last month, the mother, although she'd seemed perfectly fine, other than having to deal with the stress of her husband being institutionalized, the mother was committed as well.
Same asylum?
The same asylum, I believe. Yes. I'm not. Again, I'm not entirely certain.
What happened to the two children?
The children have been taken into the care of some relations, I believe.
Why was the mother taken to the asylum?
Um, well, I'm not in. I don't know. Again, I don't know the details. But apparently both of them were babbling about a shadow with burning eyes, and were telling tales of inexplicable events in the house. Like things moving about and strange noises, the usual kind of haunted house nonsense. Um, and both of them developed an irrational fear of one of the upstairs bedrooms, apparently.
How many bedrooms are in the house?
How many bedrooms? There are sorry, 2 bedrooms in the house. 3 bedrooms in the house. 3 bedrooms in the house.
Is that 2 or 3 or 2?
It's definitely 3. I was confusing it with another property.
Is it just the 2 floor?
It's 2 floors and a basement. There's an attic space, of course, as is normal with
There's
most
always
of
an
this
attic
property
space.
space. But yeah, so it shows you like a plan of the house from the deeds that he owns. It's got the ground floor consists of a corridor that runs from one end of the house to the other, connecting all the rooms. On one side of the corridor is a number of utility storage rooms, and on the other side of the corridor it connects to a living room, a dining room, and a kitchen. And at the far end are 2 sets of stairs, one leading to the upstairs, the upper story, and one leading down to the basement. And the upper story consists of a hallway connecting to 3 bedrooms and a bathroom.
I asked him. Oh, sorry, no, you're not finished. Sorry.
Sorry?
I was just going to ask which bedroom was the one that is the problems.
Scared of.
That I don't know.
I'd like to ask him if he has got landlord insurance.
I have insurance, yes.
Okay. And how far is the nearest fire station?
What was the offer you was giving us to do this?
$50 plus 100.
$50 plus 100 on completion.
Is that per
Yeah,
head?
that's a lot lower than our normal fee. It will cost you 100 for us to go there and 500 on completion.
Okay.
Per head?
That'll require a bit of negotiation.
Can I just use my stats because I've got fast talk and sweat?
That will require a bargain attempt.
A bargain. Wait a minute, I've tried to find this again. Whereabouts is bargain?
Alphabetical order, left side, 5th, 6th.
Alexa,
where
volume
the-
down.
Oh, I've only got base for that. Can't I try and persuade him to pay us more?
No, bargain is for bargaining.
All right then. So what do I have to
Oh.
roll?
Let me just check these. Oh, the cameras are. Have you not got? We've got no camera, have we?
Oh, what do I? No, I haven't. What do
Oh,
I need for the max for a stat?
Sorry, Steve.
Thank-
What?
Oh, the max. It's not 100, is it? I had to lower the 100 ones down, didn't I?
Oh, yeah. It's Most you can have is 90. Is 96, I believe.
Yeah, 96.
Plus. This, you seem to be skirting around the issue of the problem with the house. What do you think's happening at the house?
that's why I'm wanting to employ you. I don't really know what the problem is with the house.
Have you
I've
been to the house?
Yeah, I've been to the house on numerous occasions, and I've never witnessed anything untoward.
How did you acquire the house for so cheap?
Because, as I said earlier, it's already had a bad reputation, and
Okay. What did you?
rumours of it being haunted. But like I say, I've never seen any evidence of such nonsense. I believe I'm more leaning to the idea that it was unfortunate to rent the property out to some tenants that had mental health issues.
Oh dear.
Did
Look,
any?
as far as I'm aware, we're not in the business. We're not in this to be making any kind of money. I mean, I don't think this is our profession, is it? We've all got our own professions.
You've all got jobs, yeah.
Yeah. So I think money
Just forget what I said because
I think money might not be the issue.
Yeah.
If he wants to give us a pile of cash after we've completed, that's fine. I think we're in this for the whole mystery aspect, aren't we?
Yeah.
So we'll investigate now for free, and if anything goes wrong, then you'll pay us exorbitant amounts of money.
Yeah. Sounds good.
That's why I ask if you have insurance.
Has he got keys for the place?
Yes, of
What's
course,
the
of
take?
course. So can I count on you to resolve this matter for me?
Yes,
we will try.
We will look for free. If anything comes of it, then we'll come back, and then we'll start talking price. Is that acceptable?
Well, I'd rather that's a little vague, but I'd rather agree on the fee now. Like I say, I'm happy to pay pay you $50 up front. Perhaps any expenses you incur within reason.
And how long are you expecting this to last? Just out of curiosity. You want to just to give the house the once over?
I have no idea. I want as quickly as possible, really.
Okay. Well, the day rate is 50. We'll take that and we'll go and have a look. Then we'll get back to you. We can't give you any promises at this moment in time. Contrary to popular belief, we're not experts.
I'm afraid I'm not I can't afford to pay you $50 a day. That's a large amount of money.
Your problem is large as well, isn't it? If you can't rent it out, then you are getting zero income from
it. Yes, but it doesn't. I don't even charge that much in rent.
How much do you charge?
Not that much.
I'm not familiar with this town, so I don't know the rates here.
The fee that he's offering is more than reasonable. Put it that way.
Okay, fine.
Day rate. Yeah.
No, he said he can't afford to pay this per day.
No. That's basically what he's offering. Gaming aside, is just shy of $800, as in today's money.
Yep.
So between 3 people.
Wow. That's not much, to be honest.
Like I said, this is not about the money, is it? This is that'll cover what we need it to cover.
Okay. So, are we up for it or not?
I mean, I am, but
Yeah,
it's
let's
you
do
guys.
it.
It's this is an interest of mine. This is interesting. I will go ahead.
I ask him, do you want to sign the contract or we just shake hands?
I think we'll just shake hands. The less of this is that's on paper, the better.
Yeah, that was my preferred method as well. So I shake his hand.
Okay. Right. Once you're agreed, the landlord gives you keys and the address of the house. The rest is up to you.
Let's go.
So the house is located at 31 Sheaf Street in the Cops Hill area of the Boston suburbs.
What do we know about this area? Is it a poor area? Is it a good one? Do we know anything about it?
Do you know anything about it? Do you come from Boston?
No.
No. Then it's unlikely. I believe
I
somebody
do.
you come from Boston, so there's a chance that you have an idea of what it's like, so you can an idea roll, I suppose.
If all else fails, we could take a drive down there and have a look.
You could do that as well, yeah.
Shoot, what are we rolling, Phil? Blind GM roll?
Just roll. I'll tell you if I want it blind.
Okay. Public roll.
Okay, 50. I don't know what your idea roll is. I ain't got character sheets on at the moment. I think that's a pass though for an idea roll. It is a pass.
That's
Okay,
fine.
so although you're not personally familiar with the area, you know, or certainly not the exact street, but from what you've heard, Cops Hill is kind of sort of middle class kind of area.
On Sheath Street, Cops Hill.
Yeah, 31 Sheaf Street, Cops Hill,
Cops Hill, Boston.
Boston. I believe it's yeah.
Sorry, how do I look at that map?
It's just it's that's it. You can't zoom it in. It's just for fancy.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Cool. What time are we on?
It is about 12:30, just after 12:30.
Where did we meet Harold Peasley?
At his offices in central Boston.
Ah, so we can easily make it there then.
Yes.
Awesome. Are we?
Shall we go in the car and then take a drive down to have a look at what the house looks like, scope the area out, see what type of equipment
Yes,
we
and
might need?
we could ask the neighbors as well. You know, they might
Yeah,
see heard
that's
something.
cool. See if there's a local
before we-
church or something as well.
Before we jump into this, we kind of knew that we were going to be going on an investigation, yes?
Yep.
So is it acceptable that we would have brought any equipment that we deem reasonable? So like photography equipment, pen, paper, things like that.
With it stuff within reason, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going down there to set fire to the place just yet.
I have my Mormon cans.
Yep, so I'm happy to go and scope the place out, take photos, etc.
Okay, let's drive.
Okay. Right. It's about a 15-20 minute drive through the busy streets of Boston. Oh, I think we got some sound effects for streets of Boston.
Is it people getting beat up?
It said it's a good area, so it shouldn't be like that.
All right, where are we?
And we are at 12.
So it's 12:30, so about 15-20 minutes. So it's almost 1 o'clock. It's just before 1 o'clock when you you arrive at pull up on Sheaf Street. So Sheaf Street is located in the Cops Hill area of the Boston suburbs. The properties here all look well maintained, with manicured lawns and well kept gardens ensconced behind their white picket fences. Just a moment. One second.
Is it like
I'll be just got to get something, Joss. I'll just be 1 second. Sorry.
okay?
So, while he's gone, can't think of anything that we need to do really, except scope the place out. We've got the keys. Looking for hidden things, checking for any signs of, mysterious stuff.
Yeah, I like the idea of asking the neighbours as well.
Yeah, sounds good.
I'm back. Sorry, Tracy couldn't reach something in the cupboard. As you drive up the street towards and pull up near the house in question, the house at 31 Sheaf Street, in comparison to the rest of the street, is a blight among the other houses. The building is in a bad state of repair, and the gardens are heavily overgrown, choked with vicious-looking tangles of brambles like rows of barbed wire. The surrounding fence has collapsed in places, and an old metal gate hangs rusted in place at an irregular slant. The house's wooden slat walls are stained with mould, and the paintwork is cracked and flaking, making the whole house look sick and diseased. And here is the house. See the house?
Yeah, I'm looking at it at the moment.
Okay.
They definitely liked having windows in the houses.
You need lots of light. It's a good thing to have.
Yeah, plus the lighting wouldn't have been that brilliant.
Oh, yeah. I like this house.
Nice. So,
I'm confused because, like, you said there was like the downstairs, and then you said there was the upstairs with the 3 bedrooms, and then you said there was an attic space. Is the attic space like that tower thing that's on the side?
Possibly. It's not. It might not be entirely accurate because it's the best estimation somebody could find that represents a house, because that's an actual real house.
Cool.
So should we ask the neighbors or look at church or something? Or, there's a grocery shop nearby maybe?
I'll, if you want to split up, I don't mind investigating the house. If you guys want to talk to the neighbours or visit the church, that's up to you. I'll investigate the house.
I like to drive around the neighborhood, try to find a grocery shop, corner shop, petrol, pump, something like that.
Okay. What's Bertrand doing?
What are you two doing again?
I'm going to scout the house.
Oh yeah, I'll drive if you want. Well, we've driven down. Have we driven down there, or are we like just still outside that dude's offices?
No, we're already there by the house.
So I'll help talk to the neighbours and see if they know anything about it.
Yeah, we're a good call. Yeah, and we split up 3 ways, and we are trying to gather information.
Okay. Right.
What's Steve's character called? Sorry.
Bertrand.
Bertrand.
Why is his name not? Oh, never in this display. It should be for
Oh,
everyone.
knock in.
Okay. So let's copy that. Okay, so Dennis sets off driving around the district, and Bertrand sets off, tries to find a neighbour to chat to, and Solomon heads into the house. Right.
I will prefix this by saying that the landlord said he's been in the house multiple times
It
and he
is.
doesn't think there's anything wrong.
Yes.
So, and it's still daytime.
Are you actually going in the house, or are you just like skirting around the outside of
No,
it?
no, I'm going in.
Oh, I'll go in with you then.
Okay.
All right. So you're both going into the house then. Okay.
Yeah, we'd probably be safer if like one of us doesn't go into the house on their own. Depending on what happens from our previous experiences.
Let me just check something.
We're trying not to kill any tramps this time.
Yeah, we won't let them escape.
Radio. Okay, so you going through the front doors. Let's see if it passes on. Oops, they're way too big. They're way too big. Just one moment while I readjust these tokens because they're absolutely huge. Oh, that's ridiculously small. No, that's too big. That should be about right. Seven. Boom. Okay. Reasonable. That looks reasonable. Maybe a little bit smaller. Right, so who do we want? We want pull to scene and pull to scene. Okay. So can you see your tokens?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. So, let me see. I have to change. Right. So, you stood in the hallway of the house. Let me just get my house info up. Right, yeah. So you unlock the door and step inside the house. As you close the door behind you, notice that there's four additional bolts on the inside of the door. They all seem to be quite newer than the rest, than the actual door itself. Well, that's probably obvious, but yeah, quite recent. Maybe about a year or so old.
Okay, so that's we should query with Harold.
It looks like they're trying to keep something out, or they're trying to keep something in with them.
Yep. I mean, that's a question for Harold, isn't it? So, Bertrand is no longer local door knocking. Bertrand is with me. Right.
Okay, has anybody got a torch or anything? It's quite.
Yeah, I will have a torch.
Okay,
Equipment-wise, I'll have a torch.
right. Let me give you a torch then.
ESP, stuff like that.
I'll give you a torch because all the well, there's no windows in this hallway anyway, and there's no so this hallway is quite dark. In fact, you shouldn't really have that dim vision. So let's give you a light. So 45 degrees. So it's going to be 10, and that would be 5. Let's try that.
I know these doors are shut.
Yeah. Right. So if you when you got your token selected, if you hold down Shift and use your mouse wheel, you'll be able to turn it around, so you'll be able to cast the beam of your torch about. Okay. I shall just adjust.
With regards,
sorry, go on.
I was just going to ask, with regards to equipment, I didn't really read into it. Is there anything that a parapsychologist would have? You know, like not EMP. What's the word? You know, the stuff that looks for electromagnetic fields and stuff like that.
No,
you know,
not in 1920. No.
well, I didn't know how advanced they were back then.
Wouldn't we still have like the gear that we had when we went to that other place? So like we'd have a torch, we'd have a basic idea of what we needed to bring with us,
I think basically we've got a torch and a camera.
and a gun.
Well,
Only because I never gave it back to Dennis.
Mm-hmm.
I will give you your gun back.
So
yeah.
you buy one for yourself, but keep it in the meantime.
What?
You know, for next time, buy one.
Thank you.
What's the deal with the photography equipment? I'm guessing it's not a case of snap, 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 is it? Something that's got to be set up and put in place and.
Well, you get like it's not like it's not like old cameras where you had to stand in front of it for like a minute or something without moving. No, you can still snap pictures.
Okay.
Can I move myself down the corridor?
You can. You just select your token. You can use the WASD keys to move yourself along.
How do I use the torch?
Have you got a torch as well?
Yeah, because I'm a journalist and I need one for when I'm waiting at night.
Right, I'll give you a torch. Just one moment. It's 45. That's 14. 10. Same. 10. Okay. So, like I say, if you want to turn yourself around to turn the beam round, you select your token, hold Shift down, and use your mouse wheel, and it'll rotate you around.
Sorry, I'm going to shout to Solomon and say, there's an entrance down here or something. I think.
Okay, what are you doing?
Why is it so dark? Have they shut all curtains or something?
We'll go and have a look.
Ah,
Is it possible to make it fit my screen better? Because like,
yes, the curtains, that's what they are. So if you come across any doors, open them. Because they're more than likely going to be windows.
how can I make the screen more centered?
You just like drag it with your right mouse button.
That just make. Thank you. I was using my other mouse button.
Okay, don't just keep wandering off, because otherwise I'll not be able to tell you where you are and what you're doing. Okay, that's after you pause you, so you just keep wandering around.
My the room that I've wandered into has got no light whatsoever,
Um,
even though I've got a torch.
is there any curtains?
Well, not where you stood in the hallway. No, there's no windows in the hallway.
Sorry, are you struggling to hear me?
No,
Okay, cool.
no, there's no windows in the hallway.
Okay, nice one, thank you.
So where you are, it's so you've all both wandered off in different directions. So Solomon, you've like wandered into what appears to be a storage room, or sorry, a muddy cloakroom, and there's
Muddy cloakroom.
there's like mud on the floor. It's a cloakroom.
Um,
Where there's
okay.
overcoat, there's hooks with overcoats, galoshes, hats, and umbrellas. And there's also several bags of coal. Oh, sorry, that's not that room. Oh God. No, this is a storage room filled with boxes and junk, as well as a rusted water tank and parts of an old bicycle. At the right end, on the right wall of the room, is a cupboard that has been boarded shut.
Boarded shut from, I'm going to assume from the outside in.
Yeah, it's got boards
So-
on the outside.
Yeah, so stop people trying to get in. Cupboard. Boarded. Dun dun dun. Is there anything else of note in this room?
Not that you can see.
Right. So that was the cloakroom.
Like I say, you're free to move your tokens around, but don't just like keep moving them, because otherwise, because I obviously have to tell you where it is that you've wandered into.
Yep, I'm good. I'm not touching this cupboard, but it's something that we could investigate later on.
Okay, so you're both in completely different. Right. So anyway, meanwhile outside, meanwhile, Dennis is driving round. Drives around the neighbourhood. It's it is a Thursday, so it's quite quiet. You presume most people are working. And you drive around pretty much around the entire block, and don't really see anybody. You see like a mailman and a couple of workers like doing maintenance work on the telegraph pole.
Okay, yeah. So I like to stop by the mailman.
Okay.
He must know the area. I mean, I stop and tell him my name, and I just fabricate a story that I'm considering buying a property, in this neighborhood, and I'm just looking around. Is it a good neighborhood, bad neighborhood? So I just try to fish information from him. How long has he been delivering mail here? Does he know anyone in the area well? And I try to put, the conversation regarding the house what we are checking out, because that house stands out because it is in bad repair and all the other houses are in good repair. So
He's say, so he's happy. He seems happy to talk to you, but he's not much. He doesn't seem. He's not much help. He's not actually. He's only actually been working in this area for a couple of days. So he's filling in for somebody that is ill.
okay, there is no use for me. Okay, I thank him for, I mean, everything what he said, and I bid him farewell, jump back in the car, and
Okay.
keep driving.
Okay.
Do,
So
do
like I
I,
say, you do kind of a circuit of the entire block, and end up almost back at the house again.
okay, so I stop at the house and I try to find the others.
So you do notice as you pull up, you do notice somebody one of the houses, not directly opposite, but across the street, is sort of pottering about in his garden, and it's pretty obvious is like nosying what you're all up to.
Oh, so that's perfect for me. So I get out from the car and walk up to this person. Is it a male or female?
It's a man.
Okay, so I introduce myself and
Italian man.
Isn't You're not there.
It's a man.
It's a man.
so I introduce myself and I, tell the same story like I did to the postman
Okay.
and try to fish, let's see if he can tell me anything useful. If he likes to talk, I'd let him keep talking.
Uh-huh. Right, it tells you. So that introduce him. It tells you his name is Mr. Dooley,
Hmm. Okay.
and he begins regaling. He seems quite happy to rattle on about the area, saying it's a really nice area. He's lived here all his life. Looks to be like sort of his late 60s, if not older. And he just starts rattling on sort of about inane gossip. Saying, "Oh, this person's done this, and they've been planting these trees, and it's blocking the light from so and so's garden, and they're complaining about it, and another person on the street, he doesn't always put his bins out, and it just like really inane gossip."
Okay, I try to turn the conversation towards the house we are investigating. I like to ask him about the occupants of the house, the Italian family, if he knew them or, if he
Says,
can tell me
"Oh,
any.
the Macarios."
Yeah.
Says, "Yeah, well, they live pretty much just across the street."
And you talk in past time. What happened to them?
Uh, they all got they got put in the nut house. I don't know
Why is that?
why is that?
Yeah.
Well, about a year ago, the husband he started becoming aggressive and violent. More so every day, and one day they just finally took him away to the nut house.
Hmm. And what happened to the lady?
She went crazy too.
Do you have any idea how or why?
So I spoke to Vittorio once, not long before he went nuts. I was asking him about if he'd tidy up the fence because it's an eyesore, but he just kept babbling on about a shadow and burning eyes and how he couldn't sleep at night.
Hmm. Have you seen what happened to the children? They had some children.
Oh yeah, they were taken away by some relatives about a month ago when Vittorio's wife went doolally. I don't
Mhm.
think they use that phrase in America, but anyway.
I asked him
Kids are probably crazy as coots too. Probably that Italian inbred bloodline. And he starts rabbiting, just going on one about how immigrants are inbred and should be shipped back to where they came from.
Oh, wow. I mean, I have a different opinion on this matter, but keep it to myself because I don't want to agree with him. So the question is, if I want to buy this house, does he think it's a good idea or a bad idea?
Do you know? It could be a nice house. It's in a state now, so it depends. I won't pay much for it. House has always had a bit of a reputation.
What do you mean always? Has this happened in the past? How long have you been living on this street?
So I've lived here since I was a kid. Not just on the street, but on Cops Hill. It's that house there. The house there. It's kind of place kids dared each other to go and knock on the door, or just to walk on the same side of the street. But everywhere's got its own haunted house, doesn't it? A kooky place with a kooky owner.
So did you hear any other stories in the past, like decades ago or when you were a kid?
When I was a kid, it was just this creepy old man who lived there, always offering the kids candy and looking at them as if he were going to eat them.
Do you know his name? Do you remember his name?
Corby, something like that.
And what happened to him?
I don't know. He's dead, I imagine. He was dead. He was old when I was a kid.
Okay. I thank him for his information. Good luck with the gardening. It's nice weather at the moment. And I walk back to the house, try to find the address.
Okay, he watches you as you go.
I wave to him, in a friendly manner.
And he waves back and continues to watch you.
Sure. Very country.
He's a little bit. You get like feeling he's a little bit creepy himself. Right. Anyway, so meanwhile, what are you two doing? Let's get rid of that.
I was just looking down this corridor.
Yep. So down. Let's see what you see. Well, you can see what you can see.
Yeah, I can't move my torch. I was going to look down this way.
Yep. So I shall unpause it, but like I say, just if you walk into a different area, just like stop, because obviously there'll be some information about it. You don't want to walk into somewhere and then fall through a hole in the floor or something, do you? Okay. So you're free to move. You still there, Dan?
Yep, I'm just typing up. If I go quiet, it's only because I'm typing. I'm always listening.
Can I make a listen roll?
You can make a listen roll if you like, yeah.
Because that other place was really spookily quiet, wasn't it? It's percentage, isn't it?
It is.
Okay.
Let's we need to drag into this location.
I scored under what my total was.
Okay. So, well, you can hear you can just about hear the sound of birds outside. You can hear a distant, like automobile in the distance. And other than that, you can hear the wind blowing around the house and the house creaking every now and then as it settles.
Okay, I'm just going to continue to look like down this area.
Okay.
I will take a photo of the creepy cupboard
Okay.
and look for anything hidden in the room. You know, like any markings, scratchings, something trying to get
Okay.
out,
I'm
something
just
trying
going
to
to
get
pause a
in.
minute. Radio.
Would you like me to make a spot hidden roll?
You can make a spot hidden roll, yes, by all means. You can tell me if you succeed at your spot hidden rolls.
Come on. Doo. Yes.
You do. Okay,
Okay.
right. So there's you don't notice anything in here. The only thing you do notice is, which is pretty obvious, I suppose, is that the cupboard's nailed shut. There's boards that have been boards being put across it and nailed shut. And there's an excessive amount of nails in it.
I will move on to the next room.
Just before, can I just? Is this stairs here?
Yes, so there's a door. Opening the door, you can see some doors. You can see some stairs leading down to the basement.
Okay, I want to be like I can see this. I want to shout to Solomon and go, "I found a basement or something."
Yep. I'll acknowledge his shout and say that it was on the plans.
Okay, so the door opens and in walks Dennis.
Hello, my friend.
Hello, I found a cellar.
I heard. I gathered some information about the house. It has been haunted for a long, long time, I believe, and there was a creepy old man, living here many, many years ago.
Was his name Corby?
Yeah. Where did you find?
No,
His...
I've got it written down. I just wanted to make sure.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I took your character. Your character found
No,
something
I
related to.
didn't know.
Dennis, was the house creepy before this old man lived in it?
Memories don't go back that far. The gentleman I spoke to is in his 60s, and he was talking about his childhood. That time, this Corby guy used to live here, who was an old man that time. So that we are talking about, I don't know, 1870s, 1880s,
Okay, nice one.
and it was always considered creepy in this house, haunted. So bad reputation.
So what y'all doing?
I'm gonna explore the cellar.
Okay.
I am going to try. I'm finding it difficult to see.
Yep, it should be. It's dark in here.
Let's light some, torches or lamps or something.
I've got a torch, but the amount of light kicking out of it doesn't seem proportionate to the room that I'm in.
Yeah, might be a problem with the room. I'm not sure why it's not working properly in there. Might have to adjust the torches. I'm not sure. I've got the. If you go and stand in the hallway and point down the hallway, so I can get like a.
Yeah. It's paused a minute.
Oh, sorry.
You let me out and I'll.
Okay, that's not
Oh,
great,
I
is
didn't
it?
want to go close it.
No,
Okay.
torches probably should be a bit brighter than that. I think. Let's see. So it's set to dim. So if we put it to, how about we put it to 15 bright and 20 dim.
If it's a case I've just walked into a dark cupboard, then yeah, that might be,
No, I'm just like I say. I'm just trying to get
trying to gauge
a more realistic. Yeah, trying to gauge what would be a more realistic. See, that's probably still a bit. Is that about right? I think that's probably about right.
Yeah, I guess it's the line of sight thing, isn't it? That I'm used to being able to see all the way around me.
Yeah, so it's not like it's
Field
not
of
like a
vision.
lantern. It's,
No.
yeah, you got a cone of.
Yeah.
So what was that? 15, 20. So I'll just have to change. Bertrand's torch. 15, 20. That's 15 and 20. Okay. So Bertrand, you go down the steps and find yourself in the basement.
Has
Okay.
Bertrand seen anything else of note? I know he's not filled us in, but
No. So
just
before you actually, so this is what I mean about don't just like move around too much.
yeah.
So yeah, before when you open the door to the basement, I should have put a lock on it to be honest. The basement has a lock and 3 bolts able to be opened from the upstairs side only. Below, so down the steps is is like a storage room. The wooden stairs creak and wobble slightly as you walk down the steps.
Okay.
Check it. Trying the light. The pull cord for the light. It doesn't work.
Okay. Can I look around with my torch?
Yep.
Is that way back up the stairs?
No.
Which way is back up the stairs? Behind me?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you want to go back up the stairs, just step forward a bit and then step back a bit because it does it automatically.
Is that, sorry, I forgot to press T. Is that just a light fit in there?
Yeah.
And this stuff down here is just the background of the thing.
Yeah. So it's so it's a smallish room. There's like loads of junk around, scattered rusty tools, bits of like piping, old lumber and nails and boxes of screws. So the walls are brick. The west wall is like covered, it's like a big wooden shelf, loads of big wooden shelving units.
What's this area that I'm looking at here?
That right, okay. So you go through that door. It appears to be an old coal cellar. It's like full of soot, and there's a few pieces of coal about. And on the right hand side, there's a coal chute that presumably leads up and outside.
Okay, that's what interesting. So it's just like junk all in this area, and then a coal chute here. Is that all I can see in here? Just these 2 rooms?
Yep.
And this is back up and out, yeah?
Yep, that's back.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so you can see Solomon and Dennis down at the other end of the hallway. What y'all doing?
I like to light the torch as well, please.
Okay, I shall give you a torch. Let's say 15, 20, 45. torch. Like I say, if you put, it's not working.
No.
Why is it not working? Should be 15. Ah, right. Because I put it on the 60, and that should be 5. Is that right? Yeah, that's it.
It's
How do you turn around?
So if you select your token and then hold shift down and use your mouse wheel, and it'll turn you around.
the scroll wheel in the middle of your mouse.
Yeah, it's just zooming.
No,
Even
so you
now.
got to hold shift down.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Select
Okay.
select your token, hold shift, and then roll your mouse wheel, and it'll spin you around like that.
Is this area in front of me a staircase?
Mine works with control, by the way, Esteban.
That is a wall in front of you that you can see. That's
Yeah,
why
yeah,
it lights up.
it works with control, not with.
Oh, does it work with control, right? Okay,
Okay,
like I say,
thank you.
I wouldn't just like all sort of wander off in separate directions. I mean, you can do like, but
Oh no, I was looking here because is this like can people fit down here? Is this like
yes.
okay? That's right. No, because it looked really narrow, and I was like, can we get down here, or is this a staircase here that I can't see?
So might be an idea for you all to communicate with each other what you're doing.
Yeah.
All stood silently in an empty house.
I didn't find much in the cellar. There's a coal chute with a coal room, and then a load of boxes and tools downstairs. I didn't see anything of interest, but we could go have another look again in a minute. Did you find anything in that first room, Solomon?
Yes, there was a cupboard that was weirdly had lots of nails in hammered into it from the outside in.
Well, funny you should say that. This cellar door, even though it was open, it was locked so that it could only be open from upstairs. It's like if you was in the cellar, you was in the cellar.
They were trying to keep something out of the cellar.
Or keep something locked down. No, I think that it's
Into the
keep
cellar.
something locked down there.
Interesting.
Okay, so the door that Dennis has just opened is that's the basement.
Shall we stay together when we
Upstairs.
go into the?
So
Yeah, let's
that's
move
another.
with that.
So the second door that Dennis has opened is opens into another storage area. It's just full of broken up furniture. Looks like it's been broken up for firewood.
I seem to have turned my torch off. Sorry.
You can't. It's just probably because you're facing.
Yeah, it comes out my neck, doesn't it?
Yeah. There you go. I think there might be an issue with these ones. That should be
But this seems to be like a shadow near this door that I'm at, and like you can't see your torch there, but I could see it either side.
It might just be the lighting system glitching. That's all.
It's cool. So I'll ask Solomon and Dennis. Shall we check the rooms together, or shall we
Yeah,
give you a headache and run around and search all different rooms at the same time?
No, I think we should stay together.
Yeah, we'll stay together.
Yeah, in my opinion.
So we'll wait for Solomon, and then we'll look in this door.
Okay, so these storerooms, the storerooms that you've, or the cloakroom and the storeroom, there's no windows in them either, by the way.
Really struggling to see absolutely anything.
Why is there no windows downstairs in this house? Or is there windows, but they've been boarded up?
You've just not seen any windows at the minute.
Is there windows outside?
Yeah.
But there's not windows inside.
You've not been into any rooms where there's got windows. You've only been stood in the hall. You've been stood in the hallway and some storage cupboards. The hallway runs through the middle of the house, so it's not possible for it to have windows.
Start searching the rooms one by one. Left one, left two.
Can we do it in such a way that we can all? Can we illuminate a room, Phil, if we all move as one, as opposed to three of us running around not knowing what we're looking at?
We've done these first two rooms, haven't we? And then I went down to the cellar.
Yeah.
Do we need to go into that room and look where you was in?
I can't see. All I can see is basically the border of my character. It's just highlighted constantly, so it looks like a wall.
You have to turn it around there. Can you see? Can you see the rest of the room? Yeah. So you got to turn it around, otherwise you'll. Because the torch points in one direction.
What I'm saying is this orange bit next to where the bottom of my neck is, that looks like a wall. So I keep getting confused, thinking I'm staring at a wall.
Oh right, because the selection box, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit confusing.
I have to be stuck in the door.
Okay, so Dennis has gone into this other. That's the wrong thing. Where's the house?
This is just a room full of junk.
Okay, so the room that Dennis and Bertrand are in, as you look around, it appears to be a cloakroom. The floor's all quite muddy and dirty, and there's like old dead leaves sort of blown into one corner. There's coat hooks from which hang some old overcoats. There's some galoshes and hats and umbrellas, and several bags of coal resting against one wall. You can both or rather Dennis can make an idea roll.
Idea. I can't find it. I'm sorry.
Phil, I'm just going to wander around this hall while I'm trying to get used to the light. I'm not going to go into any rooms or anywhere we've not been.
Your idea roll is on your top right-hand corner of your character sheet.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was looking at the skills. Okay, yeah, sure. Sorry.
Okay, that's a 1. That's pretty much that's about as good as you can get. Yeah, so you notice that the side door, much like the front door, is secured with 3 bolts and 2 locks on the inside. So 2 door locks and 3 bolts.
I point this out to my companions regarding
someone. Sorry, just gone upstairs.
I didn't realise they were stairs. Sorry, push me back. Sorry.
It's alright. Just if you move forward,
I didn't see the stairs.
And then go back.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, cool. My bad. Sorry.
And I point out these locks. After this, I try to open the door.
Okay, so the door is that should be locked.
Oh, it was open.
Yeah, no, it should have been locked.
They forgot it. People make mistakes. I can't tell. Okay. I fish out a crowbar from my belongings and start working on the door.
Well, one is you got the keys to the house, so Solomon's got the keys to the house. So
Oh, okay. I have keys for this lock. Sorry, I didn't know
well,
that.
Solomon
Okay.
has.
Okay. So I asked her, anyone got any keys here?
Yep. Sure, you can take the keys. Come and get them,
Oh,
because I have no idea where you are.
I'm in this cupboard.
This.
Main doorway, third door on the left. Where are you? So I get the keys, I guess, yeah.
Okay.
And I go back.
Okay, right. So unlocking the door, it just opens out into the yard at the side of the house.
Oh,
Bill, would it be possible to fill the house with candles?
Yes, suppose you could. They are these electric lighting in the house.
there's lighting in the house.
Can we
Yeah.
turn the lights on?
You could, yeah.
Okay.
Can we turn the lights on, please?
They don't seem to work.
Ah,
Hang on.
It didn't work downstairs.
I look for a switchboard. There should be a switchboard
So
somewhere.
Bertrand recalls seeing a fuse box in the cellar.
Okay, I found the fuse box in the cellar.
Go back and switch it on, please.
Okay.
Okay, so Bertrand goes downstairs and flicks the power on the fuse box, which and then the lights work.
yay!
Let's see.
Where's the fuse box? Is the lights back on? They're still not working in the basement.
Yeah, there where we are.
Let's see. One's overriding the other by the look of it. There we go. You might have to reload it if it's not showing up, but it should all be all brightly lit now.
Dimly lit, I would say.
Well, you still got fog, so but you should be able to more clearly see the areas that you're being now as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So do I have to go into those rooms that Solomon went into for them to light up?
Yes. Yeah, it only shows you where you've been. Okay, so what you're doing, everybody just like sort of zipping about.
I'm just checking all the rooms over again. See, there's a door here that I didn't know existed.
Yeah, that's just an outside door.
Okay.
I'm lost. I don't know where I am.
Is this door open?
It's locked. It's just a door to the outside. So, Dennis unlocked it to check it out, but it just leaves it. It just goes into the yard at the side of the house.
Okay.
You can go out through it if you want to. Just not. You just can't physically like actually open it and go through it on this map.
Okay, it's fine. All right, cool. So, have we seen anything of note?
I don't know. Everybody's like wandering around and just like.
So, what we've got to the problem arose from this property in one of the bedrooms. So, I suggest that we.
Okay, people are just like off everywhere. I can't give you descriptions of everywhere at once if everybody's just like wandering around everywhere.
I'm not wondering, I'm lost. I tried to go back to the address and I'm totally lost. Can't find the door where I came from. It's not on purpose. I just want to go back.
There you go. Put it back up there. back upstairs.
Oh, I was a different level. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I was trying to go north because that's where I came from. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Right. So, what are you doing? So, Dennis and Solomon are downstairs in the hallway. Bertrand's disappeared upstairs.
Yep.
I just stood
So,
at the top and I'll be like, guys, are we going to go and check these bedrooms out?
yes.
Yeah. Let's do that together. So, where did you go upstairs?
There's a little narrow part next to the room we went in where it was outside, so like up there and then round and then. Yeah, so go straight down that little gap that doesn't look like you can fit down it, and then there's a staircase just around it. So like
Here.
up there and then round.
Eating some wall.
There you go. Round there. And then up the stairs.
There's a door right here, and then
Cool.
it looks like there's two more doors down there.
Okay, so we'll do them sequentially and we'll do them together. Is there anything of note on this hallway, Phil?
Okay.
Looking for
Right.
doors being nailed shut.
There we go. Dennis has found his way upstairs.
Hello, Dennis.
Right. So
Hello.
you can go up, climb up the stairs, and come into a hallway. So there's 4 doors leading off the hallway. One directly down a short corridor directly to your left, and then 3 doors evenly spaced down the hallway. There's a window at the far end of the hallway. The curtains and shutters are closed. And also at the far end of the hallway is a trapdoor, a heavy trapdoor that leads to the attic space. And you can see a heavy-duty padlock hanging from the hasp of the lock.
So,
Oh, so
is
we
there
check
any
the
any
first
doors
one
that
and work
looks
our way
like
down.
well, is there any doors that look like they're more dangerous than the others, as in nails boarding the room closed or anything like that?
No. You can't see that any of the doors are obviously nailed shut or anything. No. The doors are all closed. Other than that.
Okay, yeah, then let's just do the first one on the left and move through sequentially.
Okay. Right then. So let me take a bit of control here. Okay. So. Sure why. Oh, I know. Hold on a minute. That's why you're having trouble seeing, because it's still acting as if you're a torch. So that should be 360. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Update that. It's behaving really weird.
Is this room off of this door that was here next to the staircase?
No. Is that well? Anyway, just bear with me a moment. So it's none. Okay. Oh, hell, why can't you see anything? You can't even see the other token. Oh. Why is Bertrand invisible?
No skill.
I'm here. Wait a minute. You left me in that bedroom.
No, no, your token. So they can see your token, but when you select your token, you can't. Oh, keep disappearing. Everybody keeps disappearing. That's weird.
I'm in that room. It's like I've got some symbols. If I right click on myself, I've got a circle and a target and a sword and shield
No
and
idea
like.
what's happening there. Don't really know what's happening with the lighting for some reason. It's behaving really weird.
I move to the bottom right. I can see Bertrand. Move anywhere else, he just
Ah, there,
disappears.
bloody hell.
Oh no, Dennis is back.
That's it. I found the settings.
I can see you guys.
Yeah, it's me. I thought I would because I'd updated some of the mods and the settings. How the settings work had changed. It should work. It should be right now.
Well, so can we see anything in this room?
Okay,
Spot
so
hidden?
yes. Well, so just check I'm on the right thing. So this is a bedroom. Contains it doesn't seem to have been in use. It contains an iron bed frame with bare bed springs, and there's a dresser against one wall. On
Check the drawers.
the outside, on the sort of south wall, there's a window. Again, the curtains and shutters are closed. Okay, checking the drawers. All of the drawers in the dresser are empty.
Okay. Can I open the shutters on the curtains?
Yeah, of course you can. What's anybody else doing? Anything?
I'm taking photos.
Taking photos?
I'm on standby guard.
Okay. Okay, let's see what it looks like. Everything's right now. Okay, right. So you open the curtains and the shutters, letting a bit more light into the room.
Can we see anything else in the room that with the improved lighting?
Nope.
Okay, I'm going to leave the room then.
What's everybody doing?
Typing out.
Yeah, let's check the next room.
Are we checking this door, or are we going to check them two first?
I'll just follow you. I'll just follow you guys' lead. Go for it.
Go for the rooms. I would.
I'll follow you guys.
So, was there anything in this room, Phil? Spotted? No.
You can make a spot hidden if you want.
Yep.
And you tell me if you passed or not.
I did.
Okay. No, you don't see anything untoward.
Okay. Next room.
Okay. Right. So. Right. This appears to be a children's room. There's two small beds and toys scattered across the floor. A couple of dressers with some of the drawers are partially open with clothes. A few discarded clothes still in them. And there's pictures of aircraft, of airplanes and cowboys on the wall.
I check underneath the bed.
How many beds are there in this room?
Two.
Two.
What did they say that the crazy couple had two children?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
They
were they
were-
both boys?
Yes.
We didn't know that.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, said they were both boys. Yeah.
And is there anything dodgy about this door? Is there any additional locks on it, or
No.
so they didn't really care about the children then? The children they assumed would be safe if there was something.
So there's nothing. So not Bertrand. So Dennis, you check under the beds there. There's nothing.
Okay. Let's check
Nothing
the
of note anyway.
next room.
Spot hidden.
Yeah, you can do a spot hidden. Yeah, by all means.
Oh no, that's a fail.
Okay.
75. Definitely don't say out. Interesting. Still taking photos, Phil.
Okay.
Well, singular. Try and get as much as the room in one shot as possible. Film it to premium, as it were.
Yep.
Hello?
Okay. What are y'all doing?
I'm moving to the next door and waiting for the rest of the guys.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow Dennis.
Yep, I'm just following you too.
So I open the door. And I
Okay.
move into the room.
Right. Door opens into another bedroom. In here, there's a double bed, an empty bookshelf, and there's another window. Again, the shutters and the curtains are closed. So presumably this was the parents' bedroom. One thing of note is there's on almost every wall there's several crosses or rosaries hung, and crosses on the walls and rosaries hung up.
Oh, these people are. These are like religious items. Maybe we should, after we've finished investigating, look for a local church and see if the people went there.
Can we search the room, please?
Of course you can, yeah. You can make spot hiddens if you like.
I'll
Yep.
fire it off. Pow. Ah, that's a fail.
That's a fail.
Shit.
Okay, right. So you search around the room, but it appears it's like being clean. Any belongings have been removed, apart from these various religious icons that surround the room.
I feel too.
So, I will take a photo and then say to the others, 3-bedroom house, 4 people, one of the bedrooms completely bare.
And
I
it's a
don't think this is the problem bedroom, or the kids is the problem bedroom. I think the problem bedroom is the one that's the bed sprung bed and the dresser.
what about the door that we haven't checked yet?
Yeah, we need to search the whole house before we commit to one room. I agree with you.
Which,
we need
where's,
to.
where's the other room?
There was one more door somewhere on this corridor.
Was there? Oh, sorry, I didn't see.
I think I can. I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
there's another door near the stairs.
Ah, okay, cool. Then let's investigate that one.
Okay, right. The door opens into a bathroom. There's a sink, a bathtub, and a water closet with an overhead tank. It's all plumbed in. There's still when they've left the house, there's still some towels and other personal possessions still here.
Can I check the water system?
The water system of the toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there
Okay.
anything in there?
So you reach up. So it's too high to actually look in. So you have to reach. You'll have to reach up and put your hand in it if you want. If that's what you want to do. Is that what you want to do?
I am. Yeah.
Okay. So right, you climb. So Bertrand climbs up onto the toilet seat and reaches up, lifting the lid on the cistern and sort of reaching inside. The bath is got like a few inches of dirty, like brackish-looking water. Every so often, the tap drips
So you're
into it.
picking up, I can't hear what you're saying.
I said the bath has got a few inches of dirty, brackish water in it. Reaching into the cistern, you like feel around in the, it's like in the cold water, and other than the actual cistern, you don't find anything.
I'm gonna get down and dry my hand.
Okay, there is actually a towel, so you can do that.
Pardon? So I missed that. There's towels in this room, isn't there?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna grab one of them towels and just dry my hand and make
Yep.
sure that have a look at the towel before I wipe my hand on it though. See
Okay.
if there's anything on it.
No, it's perfectly clean. Nothing wrong with it.
So I'll say to the guys, it's like, isn't it a bit weird that this house is like all destroyed and these towels are like really clean?
They, they left unexpectedly because
Yeah, I know, but even if it was like if the towels were like as empty as the house would be, they'd be dirty, wouldn't they?
I don't know. When did the woman go crazy? How long
About
ago?
about a month ago.
We've only got the trapdoor left to check. Shall we? Whereabouts is the trapdoor?
It's at the far end of the hallway, by the just outside the main bedroom.
Okay. Shall we go and check the attic?
Yes.
You still there, Dan?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
Where is the door to the attic?
It's at the far end of the hallway, outside the parents' bedroom.
Cool.
Okay.
Well, we've looked in everywhere apart from the attic. We could just go back and tell him, yeah, the house is fine, and get our money.
Yeah. However, everyone says the house is haunted and we found nothing yet, so we might not found the problem yet.
Yeah, we'll need to like the attic's the last room, isn't it?
And think about our reputation if we say it's clear, and something happens after. Who will, contact us with anything like this in the future? No one.
And you've not been into you've only been into storage rooms on the ground floor as well.
Well, there's some more rooms down there.
Yeah, there's like a dining room, a lounge, and a kitchen, like there's in most houses.
What you mean through this thing here? I said about that, but it didn't come up as a door. I was like, "There's an opening here," and then
Yeah,
nothing happens.
It's
down
an,
to
it's, it's an opening. It's just an open doorway. It's not an actual door.
Okay, so while we're up here, might as well check the attic. Is there any way for us to fashion something to get up into the attic, Phil, or is there a ladder, or?
There doesn't appear to be a ladder, not up here anyway. And there's like I said, there's a big industrial strength sort of size padlock on the hasp of the attic, and from standing underneath it and looking up, you can see it's also been nailed shut. There must be about 50 nails in it.
50 nails, okay, right.
I have one question. What's a hasp?
It's like the loop of a latch.
Cheers. So shall we go back? Since we can't get in there, we could always come back with a ladder. Shall we check the downstairs area? Or we could look around and see if there's a ladder anywhere in the house.
Nails. Yep,
Hang
that's
on.
fine.
That empty bookcase that was in this room, couldn't we just drag that through the door and then climb up the bookcase? But it's locked in it, so we need to get something to unlock it.
We've got keys, but we don't know if we've got the key. We could try them.
Shall we try the keys?
Yep.
Shall we try the keys?
Okay, so so the landlord gave you 2 keys. Currently, you use one for the front door, and Dennis used the other one to open the side door.
So we need to go and see this dude again and see if he's got a key for the padlock, or maybe find out. You know, we either need to. Sorry, I took my finger off. We either need to search more downstairs to try and find the keys for these padlocks, or we need to find the person that's got the keys for the padlocks.
I take a photo of the attic lock, and the attic door, and all the nails and stuff, and we move on.
Okay.
Just try and remember, guys, we're exploratory at this moment in time. We're not trying to solve anything.
Yeah, should we go and check downstairs?
Yeah.
I don't even know what this person was complaining about. There doesn't seem to be anything going on here.
Listen, it might not be permanent. It's a temporary thing, you know, coming on and off, you know, depending at, you know, weather or night or some other reason.
That's good. It might be time sensitive.
So we might not find it now. We might have to camp in the house and see what happens. Wait.
I'm going to cast my eye over the basement, just while you two are doing whatever you're doing.
How do I
Take
can't get
photos.
through. It says that it's a wall that I can't pass through.
Was it?
That's what happened last time. That's why I walked past it.
Oh. My bad. There's an actual wall there for some reason. Yeah, you can get through it now.
Okay. Guys, there was a secret entrance. The walls just opened up.
Yeah, I'm not removing the bait. Okay, so Solomon,
Just while,
sorry, go
just
on.
while I'm down here, Phil, I will take photos of the coal chute and of the room in general. Do I spot anything out of the ordinary?
You can make a spot hidden if you want.
Yes, 70. Oh, is it 75 or lower? Anyway, I've hit it on the nose. I'll let you
Okay.
decide.
Yeah, so it's equal or less. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But no, you don't see anything untowards.
Excellent. So, is the cellar.
Okay, Bertrand. So you go through and you find it's a conventional, just pretty much conventional looking kitchen. There's an ice box, a wood-fed stove and oven, and a larder.
I'm going to
And various
search.
cupboards.
Yeah. My torch isn't working. I'm going to have a look. I'm going to search the kitchen.
Okay. What's everybody else doing?
I will move to join Bertrand.
Yeah, me too. I'm standing guard.
Do I need to roll anything to search the kitchen?
You can make a roll if you want. 60. And tell me if it's.
I got 59.
And what's your spot hidden?
I passed.
Your spot hidden is 25. But yeah, Bertrand's spot hidden is 25.
I passed though.
Okay, right. So like I say, it's a conventional kitchen. There's an ice box, a wood-fed stove, and a meager larder. So some of there's still some foodstuffs in the cupboard and the larder. There's canned soup and meat, rice, and pasta, as well as a few bottles of what look like homemade wine. So the tinned stuff, things in tins and bottles, looks to be fine. Although there's signs, judging by the the spoor left behind. It looks like rats have been eating away at the rice and pasta. But other than that, you don't find anything of note.
Focus into this next room.
Yep, you're going through to the next room. Okay, right. So, passing through to the next room, you find a dining room complete with a long mahogany table, a built-in sideboard, and 7 chairs arranged around the table. 3 of the places are set, and in this, there's a nasty smell coming from a soup tureen in the centre of the table. Where you can see there's just like this coating, a mould floating on top of whatever it is in this tureen.
I'm gonna look under the table.
Okay, what's somebody else doing?
Ending guard.
Okay.
Is it set up for dinner?
It is, yes. There's 3. You can even see it on the table. There's 3 at the head of the top of the table. There's 3 places set.
But there's 4 people that live here. But I'm guessing the dad might have gone by this point.
Yeah,
so
the dad had been gone like for about a year or more at that point.
All right, so it took a year for the mum to go crazy. I didn't.
Well,
know
at least. So they've been longer, because they've been in the house, moved into the house at the tail end of 1918. They've been there for a year, or just about a year, and then the father went mad and was committed, and then just about a month ago, the mum went mad. So they've been in the house for quite a few years since the dad went mad.
They've been in the house since 1918 for about a year. Then the dad went mad. Then they were in there a while.
So he's been in the asylum for like about 4 years.
Yeah. So then in 1923, mum went mad.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Obviously not cool. But...
Okay, there's like a sudden burst of like static, and a radio. You hear a radio start to play.
Radio.
Yeah, coming from the next room over.
Let's check it out.
What can we hear playing over the radio?
It's just some music on some radio station.
Okay. Is it expected? Is it of the time? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, going through the doorway, you find a living room. Contains like conventional furnishings, like a sofa and chairs. Where am I? Lost my spot now. Couch, stuffed chairs, and shelves laden with gewgaws, which are basically knickknacks. And on one of the shelves is a radio that's like I say, you can hear. Well, you can see it's turned on. It's playing music. There's also about the room as an unusual number of crosses and other religious iconography, like pictures of the Virgin Mary, rosaries, and other Catholic religious artifacts.
Can we search? Search the room?
I think we should go. We haven't really found anything still, have we?
No.
We just found these like rooms with all this religious stuff in them.
Yep, and a radio that turned itself on.
Yeah. Can I check this radio over?
Yeah. So you go over to look at it, and as soon as you touch it, it turns off. The light goes off
Yeah.
and it goes silent.
Can I
Is
check
it?
the wire?
Yeah, it's all wired in.
Turned on, no rat bitings or anything like that?
No,
It's
the
fine.
wires seem the wires seem like intact. There's no like
Can I turn it on?
yeah, you turn it on, it comes on,
Okay, turn it off.
and it goes off again.
Take a photo.
Okay.
Julia. So, my spot hidden fail rolled. I haven't seen anything in this room except there's rosaries and stuff in this room, isn't there?
Yeah, rosaries, crosses, pictures of the Virgin Mary, all kinds of things like that. An excessive amount.
I'll note to the others that between this room here and what we thought was the parents' room upstairs, I'm assuming the house it's been divided. You know, the layout of the house is what's the word? So where we are now, directly above us, there was the bedroom was also filled with rosaries and things.
It was, yes.
Yeah, so kind of vertically stacked. It seems this section of the house seems to be at risk more, or you know, at least religiously protected. Is that something that I could make note of?
How do you mean?
Like, is that something that would have occult significance or religious significance, or?
Uh, well, yeah. I mean, you know,
Looking at the house,
symbols
the
of
bottom,
protection and stuff.
yeah. Well, the bottom left-hand corner of this floor is filled with religious iconography. The floor above us, the bottom left-hand corner of the house, is filled with religious iconography. And I'm assuming if we were to go up, if we were to get up into the attic, the room would lead above the bedroom and this room.
Right. So, do you mean is there some occult significance to that?
No, I guess not. No, I'm just kind of making an observation that
Okay.
everything seems to be. If the room was if the room was if the room was just like a skyscraper, then it's this section of the entire house that seems to be at risk. So like this room here, and then if we were to go upstairs, then I'm assuming that it would be the room directly above the parents' bedroom, which would directly be above the living room. And if there was anything in the cellar directly below us, kind of like that whole column of the building, as it were. No?
I don't know. Your fellow investigators seem to have gone silent.
Mm.
No, so he was asking the rooms that were in the with all the holy stuff on, would they be on top of each other?
Yeah, stacked.
Turned it round by accident.
Phil,
Yeah.
are the rooms stacked?
So this sort of lounge area is directly below the parents' bedroom.
And the parents' bedroom has got all the religious, the Catholic.
Yeah, it does. Yes.
Where are all the nails and stuff in relation to this then, Phil?
How do you mean? So there's that cupboard that's nailed shut, and there's the trapdoor to the attic that's nailed shut.
If we were looking at if this were the floor plan of the building, and obviously northeast, southwest, it seems that everything on the west side of the building has something very wrong with it. So like all the locks on the door, this cupboard that's nailed shut, all this religious iconography in the living room, all the religious iconography in the parents' bedroom, the trap door. Sorry, the attic door is nailed shut. Everything seems to be kind of there. All this issue seems to be here, vertically, in stacks of two, which is odd in itself, maybe worth noting, but
Right,
we've
there's
not seen.
suddenly you hear a loud thud as if something's hit the floor upstairs.
Okay. Can we rush to investigate, please?
Yeah, so you don't have to move your tokens unless necessary. So you all, is everybody going, or it's all right? You don't have to move your keep moving all tokens.
We all
Yeah,
go.
I'm going.
I can if you want. Right, so you rush out of the lounge and head towards the stairs. As you round the corner of the stairs, a child's toy ball comes bouncing down the steps.
Do we know this child's toy from the child's bedroom?
I don't know. Did you make a note of what was in what toys were in the room?
No, but I did see airplanes on the wall. So
Well, there was. Yeah, you've not seen kids' toys anywhere else.
Yeah, okay. So we can assume that they came from the kid's bedroom. Okay. What time are we on?
It's 2:10 in the afternoon.
Okay.
What are you doing? You going upstairs?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
We'll investigate.
Right. Cancel to. Like, boom. Okay. So, did you close the doors when you left the rooms, or did you leave them open?
Left them open.
Okay. And the doors are all still open.
Can we notice anything moving? Like doors swinging, or curtains moving, or anything like that?
So when Dennis goes into that room, everything seems as it was, and then as he turns around to head back out, it hears like a rattling noise behind him.
I turn around, pointing shotgun.
Okay, there's nothing there. It sounds like it came from the window.
I walk to the window and have a look.
Okay, right. You walk to the window and have a look. Like the window looks down into the overgrown yard. You can make an idea roll to notice something.
Yeah, sure. Loading character sheet. Come on. Okay. I think I succeeded.
Yep, so your idea rolls 85, that was 75. Right, so you notice that the window is nailed shut as well.
Mm-hmm. And the noise was coming from here.
You think it was. It seemed to be coming from this direction.
Sorry, can I just ask, is the window nailed from the inside or out?
From the inside. So to the like sash windows, that slide up and down, so the nails are in the bottom.
Yeah.
It's strange, but I don't understand. Okay. Let's go back where we came from.
Okay, so you go out and you check the rest of the rooms, and everything seems as it was. when you were here before.
Do we shut the doors?
Does it make any difference?
They were all shut when we came.
Yeah, shut them then.
Okay. Right, you go along and close all the doors on the upstairs rooms.
Can we leave all the windows open though, Phil? You know, like the blinds and the curtains and stuff.
If you want,
Shutters.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay, so you're going through you're going through each of the rooms and opening the curtains and blinds in each of the room, or shutters rather.
But we'll shut the doors.
Okay.
For a
Okay,
time,
right.
but
As you're doing that, you notice that every single, at least upstairs, while you're doing this upstairs, all of the windows are nailed shut from the inside.
you see, if you were trying to keep something in, I think you would nail it shut from the outside in, but I guess there's the accessibility issue. However, if you were trying to keep something out, you won't think twice about just nailing window shut from inside. So,
Maybe
don't
we
know,
should
it might
take a
have
visit
been
to the
because
church.
he went to Pinch's.
what about just investigating? The only other thing I can think of
Ask what
investigating.
the people are like, because like they've got heavily,
don't
they've
want
got
that
the
to be-
rosemary beads and the crucifixes everywhere, so they've obviously got some tie with religion. If there's a Catholic church in the area, people might have known the people and known when they've gone, you know, before and after, as opposed to them just being crazy all the time.
Yeah, okay, we can try that.
I don't want to
There's
send
one
us down a red
thing
herring
there.
if it's not. You know, I just thought it might be a
It's
link
not going to
to.
be. It's not going to cost us out, is it? All we've got is time. 1 second. My dog's just playing up.
See you tomorrow, Amy.
What's happening?
Dan just went to sort his dog out.
Okay.
Bye.
I'm back.
Okay, okay. So don't forget your like usual sort of avenues, other avenues of of investigation.
Public records.
Like the for instance, um, this incident will have been in the papers and things like that.
Okay. So there's no point going to the church.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying you got to don't forget your other avenues of.
Oh yeah, but like it's like we've got. It's like, are we just going to do one at a time, or are we all staying together, or are we all going our own separate ways? Like one of us going to the local library and one of us going to the church, and we could even go back to the original dude and say, have you got any more information? I don't know. What do you guys think?
I've got library use, so I suppose between I think Dennis has two, so between us, I reckon we've probably got public records covered between state and local and national, genealogical societies, international. I suppose we need to go international. Newspapers, libraries, museums. But
That's
yeah, I
it.
suppose we could split me and Dennis could split that between us, and then if you want to go hit the church, then
I don't mind if we all stay together if it's easier. I was just like, it's like there's going to be quite a few. It's like we've got all these avenues that we can go down, but also it was a case of come and check the house and see what's going on. And apart from the people being crazy because they were clinically insane and everything was nailed shut, we've had a radio that's turned itself on and a ball fall down the stairs, and that's it. You know, is that really something that weird? We had to turn the fuse box on in this place, so the radio might have just needed to warm up before it came on or something, because it is 1920s, isn't it? So they'd be valves and stuff. And the ball could have just been, one of us could have dislodged it and it's come down the stairs.
I mean, yeah, Solomon's an evidence-based man. If he's not seen anything untoward as of yet, like you said, nothing that couldn't be explained by us disturbing things or.
So I forgot that one of the characters who is it who lives in Boston? I've completely forgot
That's
to keep
me.
Right, yeah. So I forgot about that. Somebody mentioned that. So you do remember, although you don't recall the actual story, you do remember it being there being some mention of something like this in the Boston Globe newspaper.
As a parapsychologist, surely that's something that I would have
Yes,
taken
quite
an interest
possibly.
in.
Yeah.
Would I know about it? Because I'm a journalist. Might have been something that cost my desk man.
Are you? Where you based? Are you Boston based or?
I was living in where was Merriweather's family from? Was that Boston?
No, Arkham. So you might not have heard about it because it's only like because the Boston Globe is just like a little local paper.
I can't remember where I worked, to be honest. I know that we said that I didn't live in Arkham when I moved away.
If it were in Boston, then you might have read about it.
I'm not saying it was Boston. I can't remember, to be honest.
It might be either. That's my fault. I kept forgetting that the people lived in Boston.
So the people that live in Boston, they know a little bit about this. So the papers are only. Is it worth going to recheck these papers at the library, or should we go to see if we can get any information from next of kin or something? Maybe possibly follow up and see where these kids are at. They're just ideas. I don't know what direction you want to go in, but I'm happy to do what everybody else wants to do as well.
We're going to need to do research, aren't we? So we're going to have to hit the library. We're going to have to get in touch with local newspapers if we can get into their records, if they'll let us. Your journalistic contacts might be able to help there.
Yeah, we could go. I could see if I don't. We could go and then if we went to the newspaper as a fellow journalist, we might be able to find out if the actual reporter found out any more, or if they're
Yeah.
still in the area. Maybe I don't know.
I agree. We need to do some kind of research. You know, I mean, look back the news, definitely local news. That's a must.
So
So-
why don't you drop me off at the library, and you two, because you're the driver, you can take him to the Boston Globe, see if they can fill us in on anything.
Yeah.
Speak to the, because it was
Sounds
only
good.
what 4 years ago between when he went down, and then
Mhm.
a year ago since they went down.
Let's do that.
What we
a
need
month,
to know
a
is
month ago since the
Right.
wife.
a month ago since the
Yeah.
wife
Yeah.
was institutionalized. We want to know what happened to him, what happened to her, what happened to the kids. We need to know what happened to the guy that lived here previously. I've got him called Creepy Corby. Anything related to the house or the street.
I just thought of something, and I may be being dumb, but we could just go to the asylum, couldn't we, and see if the doctors there, will tell us anything about the patients as well.
It's worth
Yeah,
a try, definitely. I mean, we might get nothing out from it, but we can't lose anything. So let's try it.
Sure.
Start with the papers and the police records, and we can do the asylum after.
Yeah, I think if we turn up to the asylum and ask them their side of the story, they could just fill us every bullshit, couldn't they? Whereas if we turn up with this is what was actually reported, then at least we'll have something to throw back at them and questions to ask, as opposed to just us sitting there listening to something that we could have read, just taking it as proof, taking it as gospel. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds good. Just one question. What time are we going to?
What plane you mean?
Yeah.
That's entirely up to you guys.
We tend to play till about 11 usually, don't we?
Usually, yeah.
Yeah,
If you need to get off, if you need to
Yeah,
get
that's
off,
cool.
11 is good for me as well. I have things to do in the morning.
cool.
Okay, so what's your plan? What are you doing?
So
I will hit the library.
yes, and we are going to the police.
To the newspaper, aren't we? First.
Oh, newspaper. Sorry, my bad.
Okay, so you're dropping Solomon off at the Boston Central Library, and the rest of you are going to the Boston Globe.
Yes, that's right.
Okay,
Divide and conquer.
very well. Right. Okay. So so you drop Solomon off at the Boston Central Library first. So it's a grand and somewhat overbearing building that feels more like a cathedral than a library, as your footsteps echo off the dressed stone walls. There's a smell of mothballs and coffee fills your senses as you enter the building. The residents of the book-filled aisles shuffle about in silent reverence as a stern librarian watches over them. What are you looking for in the library?
Anything to do with 31 Sheath Street predominantly, then it would be the Vicario family, Mr., Mrs., and the children, and then Creepy Corby.
Okay, so what you looking at? Old newspapers or section of the library or what?
Yeah, so I'll start with newspapers.
Okay.
From do we have exact dates and times of when these things happened?
Well, only dates and times you've got is regards the Macario stuff, isn't it? And then you haven't got
Yeah.
exact dates, have you, for them, Ethan? Okay, so well, it's a start. Name's a start though. And you got an address, haven't you? So you got something to go on. Okay, so it's because it's kind of a wide search. You can do. It'll take you about 4 hours each for each check. So you'll have one, like be able to do one search today before it closes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Right up. So you make the roll at the end of it. Right. So meanwhile, Bertrand and Dennis head to the Boston Globe. So the Globe is located in a cramped side road that bustles with industry. It's always still got music on from the house. Let's get rid of that. Its printing presses can be clearly heard from the street as you approach, followed by the smell of cut paper and ink. A glass revolving door with the name of the paper etched into the glass panels provides the main entrance. Clearly the newspaper has seen past glories, but is now relegated to a declining district paper.
Cool. I'm going to walk up to the. Is there a receptionist?
There's like a reception desk, yeah.
I'm going to walk up to the receptionist and I am going to open a conversation with her.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm going to ask her about if she knows anything about the street and anything weird that's been happening in the area, or if there's any reporters, because I've been writing a story on strange happenings in the local area, and I'm trying to just following up some research, well, some leads that I heard about this house.
Okay. Okay, you can make a persuade roll. Okay, that's a definite success. 6. So yeah, you sort of flash your reporter's badge. It's well, yes, the just recently there was an incident that we reported on. I can show you the files in the morgue if you like.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Okay, right. She leads you through into the main office and introduces you briefly to the editor, who's called Artie Wilmot. And then takes you through a back door into the newspaper morgue, where she points you in the direction of where the files are kept, and asks you if you'd like a coffee or anything.
Yes, please, that'd be awesome. Can I get a drink for my? Is Dennis with me in the?
I presume so. Yeah.
Yeah. I am behind you on the second pair of eyes.
Yeah.
I've seen so many libraries in my life, it's quite boring for me.
I'm not in the library. I'm in the news reporters thing.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
We get coffee here. Would you like a cup of coffee?
Yeah, I'm tired. Yes.
We'll have 2 coffees, please.
Okay, right. She smiles and says, "All right, I'll bring you some coffee. I'll leave you to it." So, if you want to search the files, it should be a bit easier here because you know what you're looking for, and there's like a proper filing system and what have you, which you'll be kind of thing you'll be familiar with. So you can let's have a look. You can both make library use roles if you wish.
Yep.
That's a bad one. That one bad as well. All right. Okay. So, working together, you managed to you uncover something. Let's see. So, oh, by the way, Bertrand can check his persuade skill, and now Dennis can check his library use skill. So he got a success on that. Now, let's leave the house.
Is like 3 zeros good?
That's 100, so that's like that's the worst roll you can get.
Super duper critical failure.
That's bad then.
Yes.
Okay.
They don't get any worse.
So right, so the first story you find is this one. So, blooded madman rampages Cops Hill. Residents of the North End were startled when a man covered in blood rushed out of his home on Monday, screaming obscenities and babbling about burning eyes. The man was identified as Vittorio Macario, a resident of Sheaf Street in Cops Hill. It is uncertain what exactly happened to Mr. Macario, but police speculate he fell down a flight of stairs or even out of a closed window. Police apprehended Mr. Macario after he acquired a knife from a butcher's shop and was threatening locals. The arresting officer was unable to make out what he was trying to say. Mr. Macario has been interred into Roxbury Sanitarium and no charges are being issued against him.
Is there a date on this article?
Yes, it's from 1918, about September 1918.
Okay, so basically this confirms what happened to the husband.
Yeah. Okay, so it doesn't take a lot. Like I said, the filing system and everything, and since Bertrand's familiar with this kind of setup, it doesn't take you long to find that. So you can leave it at that, or you can keep looking, see if there's anything else. It's up to you.
We keep looking.
Okay.
Can we keep looking and ask that the office girl when she brings the coffee back if she'll help us look?
You could try that, yeah. So she probably comes back before just after you find that one, so you can try and persuade her to help.
I need new dice. These don't roll anything under 80.
So your persuade skill, your persuade is good. Yeah, you got 96 in persuade though.
Oh, so I do. So that's okay this time.
Yes. So yeah, she agrees to help, and she just basically pulls all the files on relating to the Macarios. So this is the next one. She pulls out. Let me get this out of the way. A wife of madman committed to Roxbury in a bizarre repeat of a previous episode where a madman who terrorised the streets of the North End, a woman has been institutionalised. The woman is Gabriella Macario, who was committed to Roxbury Sanitarium after she was found huddled on the front step of her house at it says 20 Sheep Street. That's wrong. Muttering about burning eyes. Several years previously, this article's wrong. Several years previously, Vittorio Macario, husband of Gabriella, burst from his house covered with blood. The madman evaded police for some time, eventually acquired a butcher's knife. He was finally subdued and later committed to Roxbury Asylum. The couple's 2 children are now with family in Baltimore. Some of the dates and things on that article are wrong. But that's a fault in the article, not an intentional fault.
It's okay, don't worry about it.
I thank her for her help. Is there any more?
There is, yes. She pulls one more thing. She says, yes. There's one more. There's one more thing. Another a story that one of the reporters was that drafted, but the editor decided not to run it. So, and this is that story. Let's see if I can drag it on from the thing. Is it not in there? There it is. Where's it gone? There we go. So in the top right, there's a sort of red line straight through. In the top right-hand corner, do not print this speculation is beneath the globe. Signed the editor. What haunts the house on Sheep Street? Monday, 28th October 1918. Something sinister seems to haunt a local Boston house. Whatever it is, has destroyed 3 families in the last 40 years. The 2-story house at 31 Sheep Street in the North End near Cops Hill has been the site of fear, madness, death and possibly murder since before the turn of the century. In 1880, a family of French immigrants by the name of Ledeur rented the property and moved in. What horrors happened to those people that year will ever be known? Save that a series of violent attacks of some kind left both parents dead and their 3 children crippled for life. The house stood vacant for almost 20 years, but in 1909 another family moved in. From the time they moved into the house, Mr. and Mrs. Jones fell prey to illness and sickness, almost as if the house itself were conspiring against them. Their children did not fare much better, though. All of them lived in the house for several years. The terror reached a head when, in 1914, the oldest of the Joneses' children went mad and killed himself with a kitchen knife. The Joneses family moved out after that, heartbroken at their loss. A third family rented the house in 1917, but left after less than a month when all of them became ill at the same time. Is the house haunted? Perhaps there is something wrong with the water, or some disease still lingers from when it was built. In any case, anyone who dares live there now better be brave and strong, for they take their lives into their own hands.
Can I ask her who wrote this story?
I was gonna ask the same.
She's not sure. It's before she worked here. She knows it doesn't work here anymore.
Can we speak to the editor?
You can.
Ed.
Yes. So she go and she takes it through to the editor.
So let's show him this paper. If he remembers anything about this.
He says, God, I didn't realise we still had that rubbish. He wants, he picks it, he takes it off you and screws it up and throws it in a bin.
Hang on. I fished it out from the bin. There's a new development in this case.
So just some rubbish written by one of his ex-reporters.
Okay, so I show him the 2 other articles about the Italian immigrant and his wife.
Says, yeah, I know them stories. We ran that the one about the wife just a few weeks back.
Yeah, so don't you think these things are related?
What, a haunted house?
Looks like. I know it's very strange to apprehend, but that's
We're
what you
we're
think.
we're a newspaper, not Penny Dreadful, mate.
I didn't say you are anything like that. I'm just asking what you think about this and who wrote that this art, unpublished article by the way.
What was his name? Rob Butler.
And where can I find him?
I've no idea. I was sacked him not a few months after that.
Didn't he ask for credential for a resume for you for another job?
It may have done. I'm not allowed to give out personal details anyway.
We both work in the industry. Can't
Then
you just
you'll
help me out a
then
little
you'll
bit?
then
We're
you'll
not, we're not looking into it as being a unexpected haunting. We're looking into it possibly being some type of contaminant in the area that is sending people crazy.
Well, there might be a story in that, I suppose.
Yeah, I need to get hold of the original reporter to see what made him, because he mentioned like there might be something wrong with the water. Maybe he knows more. We've got people looking and researching it, and now we just need to speak to him as well.
Says the guy was just a hack. So I don't know
Do you,
why you'd want to speak to him.
okay. How? So this is 18. How long's the paper been running?
Let's see. Where's the thing gone? About 50 years.
Oh, cool. So, could I have a look at the stories for like this family that was supposed to die in 1880 and the one that was supposed to have died in 1909? Well, not, you know what I mean. You obviously wrote a story about them, did you not?
No, that was just Butler digging up stuff himself.
So nothing happened to them. There was nothing to report.
I don't know anything about. It's not a story that we ran, as far as I'm aware. Feel free to search the archives, but
Okay.
like I
Is
say,
there,
the guy was a complete hack. There was nothing. He's just pulling facts out of the air.
okay. Is there any other paper, in the city, as big as yours?
There's other papers, yeah. And try your best bet is to try the library, try the archives at the library. They've got all the paper, all the other papers there.
Yeah, at least we have dates now, so we can do that. Yeah. Okay, I thank him for his help.
Can I talk to Dennis? And Dennis, shall we go and find out where the what is it, the census is, and then see about the dates and see about these people? See if they were actually living in the area or if it is just facts pulled out, because that'll be at the library as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we need to go to the library.
No, that won't be at the library. That'll be
Town hall.
Hall of Records.
Okay, I'm game. Yeah, sure.
I think we should go back to the library and find Solomon and tell him what we found first.
Yes, I agree on that. And he might find something else what we need to know.
Okay, so you're going to go and find Solomon at the library, central
Yeah,
library.
yes, we do.
Radio. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. Where's Boston Central Library? Okay, so while they're on the way to find you, it's about coming up to about the time where you can make a library use roll, Mr. Solomon.
Yep.
Is that successful?
Nope.
Okay, right.
Rolled, I've rolled 4 75s tonight.
Oh dear. What's your library use roll?
25.
25.
25.
Okay, yeah.
I ain't rolled above 75. 73. Bullshit.
Just got base chance, haven't you? Okay. Right. So you catch up. You catch up with Solomon just as he's leaving the library and shutting the doors.
So I hope you guys got something, because I got nada.
We've got some reports.
Right?
Yeah. So there were some, earlier events at the house. 4 different, or 3 different families.
Did Corby's name come up?
No.
Strange.
So yeah, 3 families in the last 40 years. Jones, French, no, it doesn't say anything about that name.
Oh, so the neighbour might have been mistaken then, unless he was hiding something.
Maybe. So we need to find out about these events, because now we have dates, years, like 1880 and 1909 and 1914. We need to check archives and library regarding what happened. There we go. Because
I mean,
we
that's
are
still a lot of records to go through. So there's at least one paper a day. That's for a year. That's 300. That's what, 1,000 records, 1,000 papers to go
there's
through.
3 of us. We can split it. You do first 4 months of the year. I do the second 4 months, and Bertrand does the last 4 months.
Do we not want to try and narrow it down any further? Could we not get rental records from somewhere? Who was living where when?
Yeah, let's do that.
Specificity would help in this situation, I think.
Okay.
Just wondering. I'm just throwing that question out there. I don't know how to go about, but filtering this criteria. This
I mean, we can check, death certificates by name, because here it says, when they moved, they died, and so, if we find out what day they died of the year, we have to check only the newspapers for the previous 2 months period, so we are limiting the search already.
Things like civil and criminal records that are in the public domain are kept at the Hall of Records as well. So that's where they keep like birth, death certificates, and criminal prosecutions. Obviously, they don't keep police files, but they're like public notifications of things.
So we need to go there, to the public records, and find out more about these 3 families, because we have names and we have a date. I mean, a year. So we might be able to figure out more, and we can go back to the archive after to search for articles when we have dates. Yeah? Do we agree on that, or
no,
any
sounds good
other?
to me.
Okay.
Okay then, guys. Well, that brings us to 11 o'clock, I guess.
Yeah, it's a good time to cut it here, and we can carry on with the investigation next time.
We can indeed.
So Public records archive. That's the next two things.
Public
Yeah, that's fine.
records and archives. Next.
Right then, guys.
Yeah.
So
Cheers.
we shall leave it there then.
Reconvene
Next week, probably.
Wednesday.
Yeah, next Wednesday.
Okay, that's good for me. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you,
Okay,
Theo.
thanks everyone. No problem. Right,
Bye-bye.
I shall speak to you all later.
Sorry, I wasn't
Okay.
pressing T. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.